studio was Ubisoft 9th, 2026. On July 9th, 2026, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced launched to the best reviews this franchise has seen in over a decade. It should have been the easiest win Ubisoft has had in years. Instead, on launch day, the game's own developers were standing outside Ubisoft Barcelona on strike. This studio was one of the 15 studios that built this remake. Over 51 developers were being shown the door and their team disbanded days after they finished this game, striking on the very same day it released. Another studio, Ubisoft Belgrade, had already been shut down entirely back in June. So, how does a single remake get spread across 15 different studios, and how does a company as big as Ubisoft stay this broken? What is going on with the Assassin's Creed franchise? 1 month before the launch of the game, 51 employees at Ubisoft Barcelona are told they're being laid off. The studio's Assassin's Creed team is disbanded days after finishing its work on the game. The team had been worrying for almost a year. Back in summer of 2025, with the remake heading towards the finish line, nothing new had been assigned to them yet, so they started asking what came next. According to Insider Gaming, they kept asking for months and never got an answer. What back in June. So, how does a single remake get spread across 15 different studios, and how does a company as big as Ubisoft stay this broken? What is going on with the Assassin's Creed franchise? 1 month before the launch of the game, 51 employees at Ubisoft Barcelona are told they're being laid off. The studio's Assassin's Creed team is disbanded days after finishing its work on the game. The team had been worrying for almost a year. Back in summer of 2025, with the remake heading towards the finish line, nothing new had been assigned to them yet, so they started asking what came next. According to Insider Gaming, they kept asking for months and never got an answer. The team pitched brand new Assassin's Creed projects of their own to keep the studio alive, and the answer came back from a subsidiary called Vantage Studios. There would be no further work for Barcelona. Employees who spoke to Insider Gaming said the layoffs felt premeditated, like they were going to happen no matter how well the game did. The studio's launch celebration was cancelled and downgraded to a small catered get-together at the office. Barcelona, however, didn't go quietly. The workers organized through their union, the CGT, and called strikes every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon from June 30th through July 16th, demanding job protections and the return of work from home. The game was climbing the Steam charts while the people who built it stood outside the studio that cut them. By the end of July, nearly a third of the Barcelona office will be gone. One QA lead, 7 years at the studio, posted on LinkedIn saying this is not how he imagined it would end. So how does a company do this to a team that shipped its biggest hit in years? To answer that, you have to understand how Ubisoft actually builds these games. Over 15 studios worked on Black Flag Resynced, which is not unusual. It's how every modern Assassin's Creed gets made, and it works a lot like modern Call of Duty. One lead studio owns the creative vision, and support studios around the world are each handed a slice. One does the naval combat, one builds a city district, and another handles QA or UI or cutscenes. If you're a support studio, you don't decide what the game is. You execute your piece and pass it along. The lead here was Ubisoft Singapore, and the choice made sense. After nearly a decade of building ship and naval combat for Skull and Bones, a project that originally spun out of Black Flag, they knew this game's DNA better than anyone. To keep 15 studios moving at all times on a single project, Ubisoft uses a model called Follow the Sun. Work on a game never stops. Singapore hands off to Europe, Europe hands off to North America, and by the next morning, it's Singapore's turn again. And on paper, this model should hypothetically work really well. Instead of having developers concentrated in a high cost of living area like California or Seattle, you can hire from a low cost of living area and continuously see development on a game at the same time. It's the same model that companies like EA adopted for Battlefield 6, for example. In practice, however, this means coming into work to discover someone on the other side of the world has already changed the code you were writing yesterday, and before you can move forward, you first have to understand what changed. That's one piece of fine print in the system, and it's a piece that decided Barcelona's fate. A support studio doesn't own anything. Its survival depends entirely on the C-suite handing its next assignment. And at Ubisoft, those assignments usually arrive before the current project even wraps up, sometimes even a full year in advance. Now, go back to Ubisoft Barcelona in the summer of 2025. They were asking about their next project and hearing nothing. Inside this company, the silence was the answer. They just had to finish the game before anyone would say it out loud. The other thing you need to know is that Ubisoft was already failing. In 2024, however, Ubisoft was telling a very different story. They claimed that they had record bookings and were doubling down on the multi-studio blockbuster model. But that model only works if the blockbusters keep coming. And by 2025, they absolutely were not. Star Wars Outlaws underperformed. Skull and Bones, 10 years in the making, was dead on arrival, and when the company stopped producing hits, Ubisoft didn't fix it. They started selling it for parts. In January 2026, Ubisoft canceled 7 games and delayed 6 more. The company was reorganized into 5 new structures called creative houses, with half of its studios grouped inside of them and everyone else moved into support functions. Half the company makes games now, and the other half exists to serve them. Then the biggest move of all, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. The 3 franchises keeping the lights on at Ubisoft were pulled out and placed into a brand new subsidiary, and Tencent paid 1.16 billion euros for a 26% stake in it. For the first time, Ubisoft doesn't fully own the franchises that built the company. That subsidiary's name is Vantage Studios, the same Vantage that told Barcelona there would be no further games for them to make. One of the first real decisions Assassin's Creed's new stewards made was that the team that was finishing its biggest comeback in history had no future in it. And the numbers underneath all of this desperation for the 2025 to 2026 fiscal year, Ubisoft posted a record annual loss of almost 1.5 billion euros. In a year where nothing basically shipped except for Anno 117. 1,200 jobs were cut in 12 months, on top of thousands before that, taking the company from over 20,000 people at its peak down to around 16,600 people. And then there's a layer of history that makes the Tencent deal even stranger. 10 years ago, the media giant Vivendi tried to swallow Ubisoft in a creeping hostile takeover. And the Guillemot family, the brothers who founded the company, spent years and a fortune trying to fight them off. Independence became Ubisoft's entire identity at that point. The White Knight who helped them finally push Vivendi out in 2018 was actually Tencent. And since then, Tencent has bought into Ubisoft, then into the family's own holding company, and now into the subsidiary that holds the franchise still making money. The family that spent years fighting one takeover has been selling the company anyway, just slowly and on their own terms. And Vantage has 2 co-CEOs. One is a longtime Ubisoft veteran, and the other is part of the family. Studios are closing, a fifth of the workforce is gone, and the family's grip on what's left hasn't loosened an inch. If Black Flag Resynced had been a lazy cash grab that flopped, this would still be a very sad story, but at least the layoffs would follow a logic you could understand. This is not what happened though. The game is sitting at an 84 on Metacritic, the franchise's best score in over 10 years. It also sold over 2 million copies, which eclipses Assassin's Creed Shadows. This also means Ubisoft's biggest critical win in a decade is a remake of a game from 2013. Their most celebrated release in years is the last time everybody liked them. They didn't phone it in either. This isn't a remaster with a coat of paint. The game was rebuilt from the ground up on the modern Anvil engine and ships with 0 code from the original. It includes ray tracing, dynamic weather, environmental destruction, and new real content on top of the original story, with new arcs for the characters. They even made the tailing missions less miserable, which anyone who's played the original will recognize as the single greatest technical achievement in franchise history. Ubisoft Singapore spent 10 years on Skull and Bones and finally shipped a hit by going back and remaking the game it spun out of, with pre-orders ranking amongst the best in franchise history and one analyst claiming Steam pre-orders ran more than 5 times higher than Assassin's Creed Shadows. Everyone who touched this game should have been getting a raise. However, you already know what Barcelona got instead, because months before the game shipped, the company had decided which of the 15 studios building it would no longer still exist. The game succeeding and the team dying were never competing outcomes. And Barcelona is just one example. Ubisoft Belgrade, another studio on this game, was shut down entirely in June, along with Ubisoft Winnipeg. Ubisoft Halifax was closed shortly after its developers unionized, and a week later, 55 people were cut across Massive Entertainment and Ubisoft Stockholm. And when Ubisoft closed Winnipeg and Belgrade, they reportedly tried to put a press embargo on the announcement, an embargo on the layoffs. Embargoes are for trailers and for review scores. Ubisoft looked at people losing their jobs and decided what that moment needed was a coordinated rollout. It would be easy to end this video on why Ubisoft is a bad company, but this story where a team ships a successful game and gets gutted anyways is repeating across the whole industry. Id Software launched its big Doom Dark Age expansion in the middle of major cuts to the studio. Battlefield Studios was hit with layoffs after Battlefield 6, which was a legitimate hit for them. And of course, we know Bungie was carved up after Sony's sunset Destiny 2. The industry is quietly reorganizing itself around a new rule. Your job lasts exactly as long as your project does. Ship the game, and unless somebody in the C-suite already decided they need you for the next one, you're completely gone. Whether the game was good doesn't really factor in, and whether it sold didn't factor in either. Game development, an industry that asks for years of your life per project, is turning into gig work with extra steps. To be fair to Ubisoft, the company lost €1.5 billion in 1 year. The alternative to cutting 1,000 jobs might be losing all 16,000, and a dead Ubisoft employs nobody. But the people paying the price for the company's failures are never the people who designed the company. The executives who greenlit 10 years of Skull and Bones, who bet everything on the blockbuster factory, and who sold a quarter of Assassin's Creed to patch the balance sheet are still up there. And Barcelona, Ubisoft's premier studio, no longer is. And while we're talking about Ubisoft Singapore, I just want to recognize the arc that team had. Skull and Bones started as a multiplayer mode for the original Black Flag. It grew into its own game, got announced in 2017, and then missed every release date it was ever given. Delayed at least 6 times over the better part of a decade, rebooted repeatedly and reportedly kept alive because of the subsidies that the Singaporean government required from Ubisoft to actually ship it. And by the time it launched in 2024, Ubisoft was defending the price by calling it a quadruple A game. A phrase that I'm sure you all know of already. Regardless of the failures of Skull and Bones, by the way, let me know if you want to see a video on that, because there's a lot to talk about with that game. Somehow, the team convinced Ubisoft that chasing a live service pirate fantasy wasn't going to work, and that the hit for that studio was sitting in the 2013 back catalog the whole time, ready for them to remaster. A great game and mass layoffs on the same Thursday. Here's the uncomfortable answer to how that happens. The franchise itself is fine. Assassin's Creed itself, the product, might be in the best shape it's been in for years. It's the people who make Assassin's Creed who are in trouble. We've built an industry where a game and the humans behind it can move in opposite directions at the same time. Where an 84 on Metacritic and 2 million copies sold within the first week aren't enough to avoid mass layoffs. Where the reward it's been in for years. It's the people who make Assassin's Creed who are in trouble. We've built an industry where a game and the humans behind it can move in opposite directions at the same time. Where an 84 on Metacritic and 2 million copies sold within the first week aren't enough to avoid mass layoffs. Where the reward for shipping your company's biggest hit in years are the real humans behind the game having to figure out if they can put food on the table for the next week. And ironically, Black Flag is a game about pirates. People the empires used while they were useful and hunted when they weren't. Edward Kenway spends the whole game learning that the people at the top never value him the same way he values himself. 13 years later, Ubisoft remade that game across 15 studios, shipped it to critical acclaim, and proved the point better than the game ever could. Is this just what the industry is now? And if a game can't save the people who made it, what can? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the whole Ubisoft
All right, y'all. So we discussed the other day, J.D. Vance went on Joe Rogan's show, and it was an embarrassment. You can go watch that full video I did where I break down not only some of the ridiculous parts
about pirates. People the empires used while they were useful and hunted when they weren't. Edward Kenway spends the whole game learning that the people at the top never value him the same way he values himself. 13 years later, Ubisoft remade that game across 15 studios, shipped it to critical acclaim, and proved the point better than the game ever could. Is this just what the industry is now? And if a game can't save the people who made it, what can? Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the whole Ubisoft.
They're all just like, no.
Well, did you ever watch the Andy Kaufman?
They'd have Arab dudes come out and be like, America fucking sucks ass. And these dudes are like, take that the fuck back.
Wasn't that the Iron Sheik?
Yeah, Iron Sheik. They had dudes come out for everything. There was Russians. They have everybody. Back in the day, like, The Rock was part of Nation of Domination. They were like black African extremists that would come out and be like, in front of all the white people, they were like, no, no.
Did you ever watch the Andy Kaufman films?
Yes.
When he was doing pro wrestling? That was crazy.
Hilarious.
The fact that he decided that was what he's going to do.
There they are.
Bringing that down to South Carolina.
I think the CIA assassinated 3 of them, actually.
Yeah. 2 of them were FBI informants.
Jamie, see if you can find some of the Andy
Rock
Kaufman
was a snitch, dude. He snitched on Farouk, dude.
They told him, like, we make you a movie star. Just got to give up your brothers.
You got to snitch on Farouk. He did it.
See if you can find what he's going to do.
There they are.
Bringing that down to South Carolina.
I think the CIA assassinated 3 of them, actually.
Yeah. 2 of them were FBI informants.
Jamie, see if you can find some of the Andy
Rock
Kaufman
was a snitch, dude. He snitched on Farouk, dude.
They told him, like, we make you a movie star. Just got to give up your brothers.
You got to snitch on Farouk. He did it.
He put a bomb in Farouk's house.
Imagine if it turns out the Rock's working.
Big movie. On a budget of $250 million. The opening weekend for this is huge. It's the 3rd highest for a Christopher Nolan movie ever.
Okay.
Because that's behind, though, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, obviously. So it's going to make 120 million plus in the US. And in other international territories, about 137. Again, could be more.
Congratulations to everybody who got an IMAX screening opening weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of them sold out last year, I think.
Mason,
Yes.
what do you think the story was?
Oh, no, this is a big story.
Yeah.
Big story.
Long movie.
Based on a big myth
Yeah.
or poem or whatever. 5,000-year-old poem. Good one.
1 million years old crap.
God,
whatever.
God.
Yeah.
Ugh, all right. Anyway, so Odysseus, he went to fight in the Trojan War. But it's been 20 goddamn years and he hasn't come back.
Yeah.
And he left his wife behind, Penelope. And she's had a son. His son, he's grown up. It's a big week for people who've seen a lot of Greek names written down but never said them aloud.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Mentor.
Telemachus.
Yes.
His son Telemachus is there, and he's like, "Where's me dad?"
We can just call him by the actor's name.
Yeah, that's true. Man, we will.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt Damon's been away for 20 years.
He often is in movies.
That's true. Yeah. But
Also, The Odyssey is 2000 800-ish years old.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
5,000, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that. I didn't even have to Google it just now.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Anyway, but he's been away, and in the meantime, all these disgusting men have shown up in Penelope's court, and they're all
These leathery twats.
just oily, disgusting men. These freaks.
Yep.
Just being there, and they want Penelope's hand in marriage because they can be the king of Greece.
This area
Ithaca.
of Greece.
Ithaca.
Yeah, they'll do a 20-year hang just to say.
20-year hang. They're like, all right, one of us is going to become the king of Greece or whatever.
Eventually.
And in the meantime, Matt Damon's like,
What's he even doing?
he's off somewhere, and he's like, I better remember my memories.
Yeah.
To remember how I done got here. And he does.
Yeah.
But then in the meantime, Telemachus is like, oh, I'm going to find me dad. Find me dad. I'm sick of these men. I'm sick of men. That's the last time I'll be a boy. I won't be a boy anymore. I'll be a man. I'll take a big voyage on the sea, and I'll be a man.
Not that big compared to some of the other voyages.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, then he has to. Everyone's on a big odyssey. You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
And we remember Matt Damon's
Governor's given
memories.
us a pardon,
With him.
Commodore. Don't a man's word mean anything in these times?
Has syphilis clouded your mind? Why scratch and claw to protect such squalor? Your parasites feeding off the industry of honest men.
Much like King George in that respect.
Know your place, peasant. You may have taken my life, but you have not improved your own by any measure.
Does some purpose keep you talking?
If not for that heathen, Governor Rogers, I'd have seen you hanged from your own cross trees. Worm. All of you.
The Commodore's dead. Are we ready?
We're close. We've got a problem with the galleon. There's a couple of dozen. Bloody hell. You'd raise a cloud here, lout. Oh! Oh! You sat on enough gunpowder to blow New Providence off its rocks.
Lay off me, mate. I'm well chafed.
As I was telling, squad of lobsters has commandeered our galleon. We're gonna have to clear it out before we use them cannons to blow the blockade. That galleon will sink our fire ship before she touches the blockade. I'll hassle him, but you won't have an escort.
We'll make do.
And Kenway, my boys will keep us steady. Give them a shout before you torch the thing, all right?
Aye.
Steady with that powder. You'll blow us all.
What? With him.
Yeah.
He's there. You know?
Non-linearly.
Non-linearly, as is the Christopher Nolan tradition. The Chris tradition.
I think
Damon's memories.
which is
Yeah.
Zolom.
That's the last time I'll be a boy. I won't be a boy anymore. I'll be a man. I'll take a big voyage on the sea, and I'll be a man.
Not that big compared to some of the other voyages.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, then he has to. Everyone's on a big odyssey. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And we remember Matt.
Not
These men somewhere, and he's like
hang just
there, and they're all
these leathery twats.
just oily, disgusting men. These freaks.
Yep.
Just being there, and they want Penelope's hand in marriage because they can be the king of Greece.
This area
Ithaca.
of Greece.
Ithaca.
Yeah, they'll do a 20-year hang just to say.
20-year hang. They're like, all right, one of us is going to become the king of Greece or whatever.
Eventually.
And in the meantime, Matt Damon's like,
What's he even doing?
he's off somewhere, and he's like, I better remember my memories.
Yeah.
To remember how I done got here.
Mm-hmm.
And he does.
Yeah.
But then in the meantime, Telemachus is like, oh, I'm going to find me dad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find me dad. I'm sick of these men. I'm sick of these big men.
and I'm sick of men.
That's the last time I'll be a boy. I won't be a boy anymore. I'll be a man. I'll take a big voyage on the sea, and I'll be a man.
Not that big compared to some of the other voyages.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, then he has to. Everyone's on a big odyssey. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And we remember Matt Damon's memories.
With him.
Somewhat. With him.
Yeah.
He's there. You know?
Non-linearly.
Non-linearly, as is the Christopher Nolan tradition. The Chris tradition.
I think there's a lot of comparisons that can be made between this and Oppenheimer. For one, a guy doing a bad thing and then coming to terms with it. That's
Sure,
part
okay,
of it.
yeah.
Coming home and stuff. Can
Yep.
you ever come home after you've dropped a nuclear bomb?
Easily.
Yes.
I did it.
Knock, knock, hello. Honey, I'm home.
Saturday morning, I'm back. had a big Friday, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, added a little extra spice to it.
Absolutely, you
You know?
would have. I could see how you would do that.
Yeah.
So the first like 30 minutes of Oppenheimer, it's quite rapid.
Yeah.
And it's like this is the world.
There's
get you up to
yeah.
speed, and this is similar.
Nolan
in
has to
that
do.
sense.
Nolan does his building blocks. He
Yeah.
builds the world out for a bit, for a long time.
Yep.
And then
just
then
throws
we
a
get
bunch of names and places and settings and that at you, and then
Yeah.
it all kind of falls into place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of this movie?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was
really
great also.
enjoyed it.
Maybe we're being.
I mean, everybody loves it.
Yeah, look, I liked it a lot. Again, I've never read the epic poem.
No.
I've never seen any of the previous adaptations.
No, there's one in like '54. There
Yeah.
was like a telly movie in the '90s. I
Oh,
think.
Brother, Where Art Thou is not really the Odyssey. It's just a guy going somewhere and then coming back, and then he writes a little song.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of people are like,
interesting
well,
too.
that's the Odyssey. It's not really.
It's kind of the Odyssey by the way you've described it. But also, like, having also not read or seen any of the adaptations, you've definitely seen a bunch of this in literally everything that's
Oh,
ever
100%,
been
yeah.
written or
You know,
happened since.
one of the fundamental texts, I guess, of the hero's journey kind of thing.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like when Luke Skywalker
Yeah.
blew up the Death Star and then came home and went, that was pretty sick, actually.
That's right.
What I did was cool, and you
That's
all
right.
agree.
And that's Friday night, he said.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what this did remind me of?
Yes.
Though on a much larger scale. The
Yes.
Green Knight.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's got
yeah.
that kind of,
Yeah.
that mythic kind of energy and that kind of realistic,
Mm.
grubby, magical universe where
Yeah.
everything's awful.
So in this also, the opening title card of this says that this is a world of apparent magic.
Yeah.
Which I want to talk. I'll talk about that in spoilers.
Apparent
magic.
Saw a lot of weird shit happen.
Well,
Mason.
maybe it did. Maybe everybody's on big drugs, though.
Maybe they are.
Maybe. You don't know.
Yeah. It's a loud movie also. I've heard people complain of the sound in this where, like, you can't understand the dialogue.
Oh, I didn't have that
and so-
problem.
I didn't have that
Which
at all.
I definitely have had in previous...
It's very loud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what my screening was.
Previous Nolan movies, Tenet especially, You know,
Yeah.
I've seen that multiple times at home with subtitles on because I'm like, I really want to drill down in this. I still don't know what's happening.
I
in that
see.
movie.
I've only seen it the once. I should probably revisit. But has your opinion on that changed since you first saw it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Better?
It's better, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah.
I really like the pairing of Matt Damon and Himesh Patel as his second in command.
I got
those two together.
Yeah, Himesh Patel is becoming one of those guys where I'm like, oh, it's good to see this guy in a movie.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway's great.
Agreed.
Standing around waiting for Matt Damon to come back. What's he doing?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
What's he been up to?
Get off your duff, Matt Damon.
Yeah, exactly. And as mentioned, Tom Holland and also Ryan Hurst, who was Kratos.
Yeah.
I like that pairing as well. Everyone's got a little friend.
Little friend,
You know,
exactly.
and then you got Johnny Legs as well.
Yep.
Uh,
Does a very mean thing right at the start of the movie, but then recovers, and you're like, oh, he's good.
He's all right.
Yeah.
This guy's all right. Yeah. It also opens on, though we get it fleshed out more throughout the narrative, the story of Troy.
The movie Troy. It starts on the movie Troy,
Exactly.
2004.
You guys
yeah.
remember this? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I remember this in Lando Bloom, yeah.
Mm.
But the way that they frame that element of the narrative about, well, what would it take to really get 20 or 30 men inside a wooden horse convincingly enough for them to have it dragged into, like the logistics alone of how you would do that and how many people you have to deceive, including some of your own people,
Yeah.
to make that happen while there's men just drowning and shitting all over each other in a wooden horse for
Yeah.
days on end.
Anyway,
Like-
that was your Friday night.
Exactly.
Wow.
Didn't even have to buy a round.
Ah,
Just
nice.
dodged it the whole time.
Nice, you dog.
Yeah.
You dog. You gave him the old Trojan
Just
horse.
went to the bathroom every time I needed. It was my turn.
Yeah.
Because Nolan was supposed to do Troy. We talked
Yes.
about it recently when we covered that for Caravan of Garbage. But his interpretation of this, it really made me believe in the way that movie didn't, that how you could fall for this.
Right, uh-huh.
Because you're not going to, this, when it's half buried in the sand and it's just going to get washed out
Uh-huh.
to the ocean, I guess you would be less inclined to think there's a dude in it. Like, it doesn't have big wheels on it.
Yeah, right,
And
uh-huh.
a big welcome sign. Like,
Yeah, right,
tied
uh-huh.
around, washed out. It really people.
Yeah.
Ride a wooden horse in Lando Bloom, yeah.
Mm.
Though we get it fleshed out more throughout the narrative, the story of Troy.
The movie Troy. It starts on the movie Troy,
Exactly.
2004.
You guys
yeah.
remember this? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I remember this in Lando Bloom, yeah.
Mm.
But the way that they frame that element of the narrative about, well, what would it take to really get 20 or 30 men inside a wooden horse convincingly enough for them to have it dragged into, like the logistics alone of how you would do that and how many people you have to deceive, including some of your own people,
Yeah.
to make that happen while there's men just drowning and shitting all over each other in a wooden horse for
Yeah.
days on end.
Anyway,
Like-
that was your Friday night.
Exactly.
Wow.
Didn't even have to buy a round.
Ah,
Just
nice.
dodged it the whole time.
Nice, you dog.
Yeah.
You dog. You gave him the old Trojan
Just went
horse.
to the bathroom every time I needed. It was my turn.
Yeah.
Because Nolan was supposed to do Troy. We talked
Yes.
about it recently when we covered that for Caravan of Garbage. But his interpretation of this, it really made me believe in the way that movie didn't, that how you could fall for this.
Right, uh-huh.
Because you're not going to, this, when it's half buried in the sand and it's just going to get washed out
Uh-huh.
to the ocean, I guess you would be less inclined to think there's a dude in it. Like, it doesn't have big wheels on it.
Yeah, right.
And
uh-huh.
a big welcome sign. Like,
Yeah, right.
tied
uh-huh.
around
yeah,
it
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like,
Bring indoors, please.
yeah. There's none of that.
This horse is cold. Please bring indoors.
yeah. So I really liked that element of it.
I think one thing that has been critical of this movie is that it doesn't Some people have said of the costuming, it doesn't look. It's not detailed enough. You see that. I disagree with that for a number of reasons, but the idea of kind of people are like, well, this is what Greek armor looked like at the time, and this is what Trojan armor looked like at the time. I was never concerned about that. At no point was I like, wow, these do not look like costume party costumes. They look like costumes from this era. They all, all the characters from Greece look a certain way, and all the characters from other places look a certain way. It all works.
Yeah.
And I'm not concentrating on that. I'm concentrating on the story.
Absolutely. And of course, there's a lot of being said about the casting of this, etc. A lot of that has also been silenced because it seems like it's probably going to make $1 billion unless it falls off a cliff. I doubt it. It could, there is not a lot of Greek casting in this. That's
true.
Sure. But again, it is a myth. And sure, Gods of Egypt did a similar thing.
That's right.
But also, if you look at the people complaining, there's not a lot of, well, why is Matt Damon in this? He's not Greek. You can you can tell the people that are being focused on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We know what this is.
We know John Bernthal says he's from New York, so why would he?
Yeah, they're all got American accents,
Yeah. It's a sort of the American accent thing. I understand because it's just like we just want them to all to talk the same.
Yes.
It's an American movie. Most of the actors are American. Just give it American accents.
People are also just used to seeing this, but everyone's got a British accent.
Yeah,
which is also obviously not accurate.
Or they're speaking in Marvel Comics Thor, Shakespearean English or whatever.
And you could do a Apocalypto style thing and. Do it in ancient Greek,
Yeah.
but,
Sounds like work to me.
sounds like too much work.
Christopher Nolan's not about that work.
No, absolutely. Well, speaking of work, Mason,
Yes.
a lot is being said of this in the practical effects.
Oh, yes.
Some big set. pieces using mostly in-camera practical effects. One being a giant Cyclops man.
Yeah.
With a crooked ass nose.
Yeah.
So that's actually
Just a whole crooked ass head.
Yeah, I know.
He blinks sideways.
Yeah. So it's actually that's a big puppet.
Yeah.
As you may have heard.
Yeah. I
And-
saw a still from it.
Yeah, it's like a horrifying sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this movie, and this has also been said, like, on Matt Damon on his epic quest to get him and his crew home after the Battle of Troy, which took 10 years to win.
Yeah.
They keep getting sidetracked and going to different mysterious, horrifying islands.
Sure,
and
yeah.
then there's a real back to the boat, boys
Yeah,
moment.
that's right,
And they all run screaming, Monty Python style,
Very much so.
back to the boat.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another moment where it's big men versus small men.
Gods of Egypt style,
Gods
yes.
of Egypt style, but the way they do it here, which I love, they got 7 feet tall men to play the big men.
Right.
And then they got 5 foot tall stunt doubles for
To
everybody
play
else.
the Greeks.
Yeah, so that's all apparently.
And
in
then
camera.
you film from a funny angle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then it's back to the boat, boys.
That's right.
Obviously. But there's also things in this. There would also be, there's wire work which would have had to been replaced because there's people being thrown in that. But there's a swirling vortex moment on the ocean, which would have to be an obviously CGI.
Jet skis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they churned it up for jet skis to get the effect on the water, but they have to then put in the vortex.
Yeah.
And that's also a moment where a monster is like yanking people off the boat.
Yeah.
And they're
The famous Greek yanker.
That's right. And they're wired up.
Yeah.
But that monster is clearly a CGI like added
Right,
element.
yeah,
And also like Christopher Nolan, he's not secret about using CGI, but people just take it as, oh, he doesn't use it. But he always has, and he is, if you look at interviews, he does talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
He
Yeah.
uses it as a tool like everything else. Yeah. should we
Zendaya's in this for a minute.
Yes, Zendaya, Charlize Theron is in it for a little bit. Yeah.
Who else can we talk about? Robert Pattinson is suitably slimy.
Oh my god, he's so slimy.
Very slimy.
So slimy and slippery.
Slimy and twitchy as well,
Yeah.
which was good. Like when things aren't going his way. It says here on Wikipedia that he likened it to James Woods in Casino. If you've ever seen
okay,
Casino,
I can see that, yeah.
he's this kind of slime ball who's Sharon Stone is cheating on
Yeah.
De Niro with. It's good
Yeah.
performance.
Elliot Page plays Sinon.
Yes.
Doesn't get a lot of screen time. But
yeah, I initially thought he was only going to get, because he's right at the start.
Yeah.
Where we're seeing a little bit of the Iliad, the Trojan horse bit, and
The
I'm
prequel.
like, oh, glorified cameo.
Yeah.
But there's a scene later on where he gets a lot more, kind of like a more of a meaty kind of dramatic beat.
And that character is very clearly tied into Matt Damon's character and also Robert Pattinson's character, and so that all comes full circle.
They're all good friends.
They're all good friends. So there's also Agamemnon.
Yes. Agamemnon, yes.
Who's played by
oh, should we even say?
Oh yeah, I guess
Let's
it's a
say
bit
it
of
in
a
spoiler.
Yeah,
say it in spoiler.
really kind of Darth Vader-esque depiction.
Yeah.
Of that character. There's a moment where the gates of Troy open and you see him.
So it's interesting fact about that.
standing
I don't think this is a spoiler, but I saw an interview with Matt Damon where he said, you know, there's the moment where it's the sacking of Troy and they have to invade Troy and they have to get the gates open.
Yeah.
You know, they've gone in the horse and they have to get the gates open before all the soldiers are alerted and kill them. And Matt Damon was told, we're just going to open the gates and cut.
Yeah.
And Nolan didn't tell him there were 500 extras behind the gate, which is fun. I think that's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great sequence. And his brother's also played by John Bernthal.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Let
That's
me
not
tell
a
you
spoiler
something.
because he's not wearing it. Yeah, let me tell you something. I got a beard and a shaved head. Let me tell you something, Tom Holland. Lupita Nyong'o also in dual roles.
Let me tell you something, I'm Menelaus. I had to look it up. I'm Menelaus.
I was killed by Eric Banner in the movie, but not in this movie.
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o's dual roles, Helen of Troy and Helen of Troy's
Sister. Yeah.
Helen of not Troy.
That's
where
right.
the sister is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, not a huge role. And
yeah.
obviously not a big deal.
Yeah.
Also, but one of the things people are upset about, who's really good, and people are talking about this, and apparently it's a sequence where it's the only sequence other than Heath Ledger in filming The Dark Knight where the crew clapped, with Samantha Morton.
Loved her in
as
this.
Cersei.
Tremendous in this, yeah. But yeah, when that scene happens and I'm like, people are going to be talking about this scene.
Yeah.
She's great in this.